Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video is Season 5 of The Handmaid's Tale, Episode 1, entitled Mourning. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's the morning after, and June feels redemption in Fred's murder. She replays the beating over and over again in her mind with no regret, and it even brings her a smile. She's even a bit resistant to get into the shower, as it will wash away the memory. Luke knocks on the door several times before she answers, revealing her bloody body. He wants to know what happened. June is numb, holding her baby as if she will never see her again. Luke and Moria try to get answers, and June finally says she did it. She killed Fred. Now Moria and Luke are even more concerned for her well-being as she jumps into the car with a smile. Nick arrives at home, and his assigned wife, Rose, is eager to soothe him with coffee. She even let the Martha sleep in a little longer so she can make the coffee herself, so she knows the coffee will taste bad. She inquires if everything got taken care of, and she will keep June in her prayers. Serena enjoys her morning yoga, but is quickly interrupted by armed forces. She's being moved to a more secure facility. They're still currently looking for Mr. Twillow. She's greeted by Marsha McFadden, Senior Director of ICC's Prison Liaison Office. She delivers the bad news. A body was discovered and ID'd as her husband. I'm sorry to tell you, but your husband is dead. Until they can get more details of what happened, they will move her to somewhere safe. June walks into a local cafe where she sees other women who participated in the murder. They're all bloody and silent and enjoy a down-south breakfast. They all agree the food somehow tastes better now that Fred is dead, and June remembers the amount of blood shed she's seen in Gilead. They all feel empowered as they show June they have received some guns and can even get more. They want her to take a pistol, just in case. Could Nick get some of them to the border? They surely want revenge. They want to go back into Gilead for more revenge. But June wants to know, what are they going to do now? They all kill Fred for June. Now it's their turn to kill who they want. June uses guilt, saying they won't get far when they cross the border. And you know what they do to spies. Are you going to leave your families? Vicky pulls out a gun because she's had enough. Is June there for them because they sacrificed a lot for her? June says, I don't know, which pisses Vicky off. She shoots several shots into the air and says June made her decision in the woods. Now, she's just being a coward. Serena demands to see her husband's remains, but Mark is not sure if he can make that happen. He explains what they know so far. There was a change in Mr. Waterford's itinerary. He wasn't on his way to Geneva. The U.S. government made a deal with the Gilead government. Last night, he was involved in a prisoner exchange at the border. They agreed to try him under the Gilead system of justice. Mark took him to his point safely, and he doesn't know what happened to him after that. He exchanged him for 22 political prisoners, women your government sent to die in the colonies. His job is to protect her now, despite it all. There was an envelope addressed to Serena this morning, a ring, and a severed finger along with a photo. Mark says that they've seen this type of threat from Gilead before. Does she know what it means? Serena wants to know which finger was severed, and Mark confirms it. It was Fred's ring finger, and immediately Serena knows this so-called threat was not Gilead. It was June Osborne. June tries to find Emily and learns she went back to Gilead to find Aunt Lydia. Emily called and said goodbye. June wants to fix it, but reality sets in for Sylvia. Emily would never come back, and Oliver would never see her again. She's gone. She doesn't even care whose fault it is. Why should she even know so she can hate the right person? Oliver and her will be happy with the time that they had with her anyway. It was more time than she thought she would ever get. Even if she hears from Emily again, she won't tell June. Now the reality of murder sets in for June. She's been walking around this entire time with blood all over her, and the rage wears off. It now turns into disgust of a mistake. She walks to the lake, so numb from everything, and takes calm in the waves and the cooling off of the water. She reminisces of the times with Hannah and Luke. The reality is such a distant memory. Someone stops that memory by asking, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Luke tries to comfort June as she vents, saying that she's ruining his life, but Luke disagrees. June cannot believe that Emily left for Gilead. Gilead is pulling her there. Luke misses Hannah and wants June to come back home, and he gets it. Fred got what he deserves, and it's obvious Luke is trying to get June to forget about what happened and not tell anyone, although there are officers behind them. June wanted them to be there. She's turning herself in. She testifies that she was alone and did the murder by herself. She did it because of what he did to her. Unfortunately, the department says that she's confessing to the wrong department, and they can't do anything about the matter. It's not a concern for Canada. The Crown has no quarrel with her. But they do fine her for the finger, transporting an insecure biological sample. She can pay $88 downstairs. The officer tells her that she can pay online and to have a good day and to be safe. Gladly, Luke is there, and they share relief. Serena is present to see Fred's remains, and Mark gives his condolences. Serena wants to petition to the Canadian government to consider their capital punishment statutes, considering June's acts. Mark shares that what happened, the murder, it occurred on undisputed territory, no man's land. Therefore, June hasn't broken any laws. He wants her to focus on her safety and child. She could start a new life in Canada. She can be a refugee and safe. Serena is brought to tears, screaming that he can't protect her and has no idea of what June is capable of. Can he protect her like he protected her husband? When Serena exits the building, there's a large group of people who offer their prayers, saying that they're there with her under his eye, and praise be. Serena gets a wave of confidence, saying that the Waterford name has power, and she will make sure that he has a proper burial in the land that he founded. Any civilized country will allow this to happen. Mark doesn't know how this will be possible, but he will make some calls. Luke offers a drink, and Moria is confused as to if June is fine. Clearly, she's not fine. Gilead would have eventually killed him, and she didn't have to do this herself. Luke doesn't care. She's at home, and they're safe, and he wants to take a win and just move forward. Moria heard about what happened to Emily, and maybe people along the border will find her. No one goes back to Gilead. June offers to give Nicole a bath, but Moria doesn't trust June alone with the baby. And then June agrees. She can't believe that she's not in jail. And then they tell one another that they love each other. There's a knock at the door, and it's Mark. June apologizes for not being honest with her location, and if Serena was scared when she found out the news. Mark says that she was afraid of June, and possibly Gilead is too, although that's not a good thing. He just came to say, well done. Something needed to be done, and he understands the cost. May he rot in hell. And don't let them drag you down. As Moria and Luke give Nicole a bath, she's unsettled, but June calms her. Now there's a little bit more trust to leave June alone with the baby, and Luke discreetly watches from the door, amazed to see a piece of his wife return. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So for those of you who weren't able to see last season, feel free to binge watch the previous season's full episode recaps and the reviews. I do have the link in the description area and also in the playlist section. So it's wonderful to see this new season start off with a crescendo and taking its place, starting where we left off in that moment, the morning, right, following the night before of the attack on Fred. It's like this redemption, right? And it's this moment of everyone having their first wave of relief and having some sort of revenge. Gilead has been such a tight-knit, tight, secure border-bound power, money, non-breaking essence of a country, that for Fred to be in an area where he doesn't have the power, for Serena to be in an area where she doesn't have the power, and then being in confinement in a detention center, and Fred being in danger, as an audience, we're like, wow, like I can't believe that this finally happened. But then you notice that June has this epiphany of, wait, I just committed a murder. I'm guilty. Even though that I've had this sort of redemption and the women with me, what have I done? Her walking around, right, with this nonchalant essence that everything's okay and what she did is fine. Having blood all on her, and then seeing the bloody fingerprints on the cup, and then going into the restroom completely bloody. And that her surpassing her mind lets you know that she was completely numb with revenge, completely numb with no sort of regard to the laws that were possibly there, not even considering them, being so focused, right, with the blinders on, and focused about, we're going to do something to this man. Don't know what it is. Don't care. You even see that the waiter that's serving them is unfazed. That lets you know that the laws that are in this refugee area, Canada, wherever they are, that some of the laws are being so blurred at this point that as a waitress, she's not even alarmed. Now, you got to put yourself in those shoes. What if you're a waiter or a waitress and you see a large amount of people who are bloody, who are all enjoying breakfast? Like, that psychologically, you got to think, something's coming up. She didn't call the police. She didn't even seem fazed. So that lets you know of the energy and the vibes that are going on in where they are, that laws are being blurred. And when laws are blurred, it then comes to this notion of, is everyone fit for themselves? Are we just going to let law handle it? What? June in this episode, as we've seen in previous episode, has been blinded by the feelings of other people. When the other women show her the pistols and they say, hey, what's next? We're going into Gilead. Now they have this confidence to get revenge. She says, hey, I mean, what about your family? What about this? Putting on this guilt trip. And she's done that before. She's happy when people have executed what she wants to do. But when it comes to their feelings, it's, now let's think logically. What about your family? What about this? And aren't you? That's wrong. It's like this total disregard of responsibility and accountability on June's character. And I did mention in recaps and reviews that were previous seasons that was very frustrating because she's showing her white privilege, right? She's showing her privilege in this situation, that she can talk a certain way, that she can do certain things. And even, let's just say, if white privilege doesn't exist, she feels privileged, okay, in this series, that she can say and she can do anything, not thinking about how it will affect others, not thinking about the support behind me, but not thinking about them being in danger. And the other women, when she pulled the gun out on her, she's like, well, we got to do what you wanted to do. We followed him into the woods and we killed who you wanted to kill. But what about us? What about the vengeance that we need? And I'm wondering when that's going to boomerang to the main character of June, and when she's going to feel the boomerang and the waves of her actions. She's been getting away with a lot of stuff, so it's kind of scary and eerie how she will be affected in the following episodes. Let's talk about the U.S. government, how the U.S. government made a deal with Gilead and the Gilead government. And they have this exchange that happened at the border. Now we're starting to tap more into the U.S. government's policies and things that they're doing, kind of this leeway for Gilead. Something that I mentioned in the previous seasons that was something that I would like to see is how other countries are absorbing Gilead or are still thinking of plots to have this sort of mini battles with Gilead. We've known that Gilead is a very strong country, and now other countries are starting to inquire about how they're able to have births, how they're able to have such a healthy lifestyle compared to everybody else's. And from season 1, we've learned that they're forcing certain things, rape and murder and all these other things. Well, I just want to know, are the countries completely blindsided by the truths of Gilead, or do they know the truths and they ignore them? We do have certain nonprofit organizations in this series that we've seen that want to bring awareness, that want to, seek refuge, that want to help refugees. So they know something's going on. But I really want to see a season where from the other country's standpoint and how they are viewing Gilead, putting, thinking about how to infiltrate spies into it, thinking about how can we go towards such a very powerful military such as Gilead. I would love to see that. This one-sidedness of Gilead, and now we're seeing more of Canada. I really want them to speed it up a little bit, because as an audience member, you think, why isn't anybody doing anything? It's because Gilead has such a strong military force, and I want to see the U.S. government, I want to see Canada, what they're thinking about, the ICC plans that they have to infiltrate, because it's getting very frustrating, because it's like we want redemption as just the audience as well. Emily going back to the border and trying to get into Gilead is very scary. It's clear that she doesn't care about her life or what's going to happen to her. She just wants some payback, and she just wants to get rid of the pain and the trauma that she's been through. So hopefully we will see her later on in the season and how she's doing. It's been that underlining thing since the last season, Tulo and Serena, right? Mark and Serena, and them having this weird kind of connection. I did predict that I think that Serena is pregnant with Mark's baby, because they have this, I know who you are, and we can't let anybody know about who we are as we're not a couple. Maybe they both felt alone and found serenity in each other, but I do not think that is Fred's baby. I think that it's Mark's baby, and then them learning the true DNA of that will be Serena's demise. That would maybe be the thing that will have Gilead do some sort of revenge. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like this video. Share, you guys. Put your comments down below. Like this video. And also stay tuned for other series as well. I am recapping and reviewing the last and final season of the FX original series, Atlanta. Check out the House of the Dragons, the prequel to Game of Thrones, HBO original series, reality dating show, my Ready to Love Miami, and also Bell Collective season 2. There's so much to watch on this show. Binge watch, and in the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other, and stay tuned for episode 2. Bye.